Shalom, shalom. We'll start by giving all praises, glory, and honor to the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakadash. I'm the brother Napak from Great Millstone, Tampa. And I want to give double honors to elders and apostles of Great Millstone and teach them real well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the ones listening in. And I want to go into a quick lesson. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying to those listening in. And I'm going to title this lesson, The Blueprint is in the Scripts. Okay? The blueprint is in the scripts. And, my mind has been meditating on this thought, all right? Because through everything, that we go through, all the afflictions, everything that got us through those afflictions is listening into the scripts, okay? Obeying the Lord's words, because you will have it where you will can't tell. And the flesh wants to do so many different things, and take it upon himself or itself to solve the problem, all right, to get it over with. But ultimately, you have to be patient. You gotta, follow wisdom. Okay. Now, here's just a quick one right here. It says Isaiah chapter 26 and verse 3. You will keep in perfect peace all who trust in you, all whose thoughts are fixed on you. All right. So the Lord will always keep in perfect peace all whose thoughts are fixed on the Lord, who trust in the Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay? And that trust comes with, allowing the Lord to steer the boat. Okay? Stop trying to make your own plans and your own ways and expect those things to go. All right? It's the Lord, and once we understand that, you become a lot more untensed, for to say, or, a lot more relaxed. That's the best word. A lot more relaxed through the spirit, to where you're no longer tensed, through affliction. So now you can be able to think properly, move properly, use wisdom properly to get through, each situation the Lord brings upon us. All right, that's the best thing to have is these scriptures, man. To go by is these scriptures. Okay? That's our comfort. The Lord is our comforter. All right? And let's see. Yep, right here. This too. I was thinking about a different scripture, but this is a great one as well. It says, Psalms 119, verse 50, this is my comfort in affliction, for thy word hath quickened me. All right. And in the NLT, it says, your promise revives me. It comforts me in all my troubles. All right. So these scripts, the scriptures, that's our comfort, man. That's our way of hope. All right. Seeing the accounts that the Lord, have came through for the prophet before us, and what he say he would do for us now, all right, that would give us hope, man. Trust in the Lord, Yahweh Shai. Okay? So when you're going through certain things, or when you were stuck at a problem, at a decision, the best thing really is to do is to go through the scripts, and the scripture is going to tell you to fast and pray. And when you fast and you pray, you're more, your eye becomes, your eyes, your spiritual eyes and discernment becomes more precise, all right, in situations on what to do, how to react, how to do certain things, how to become, what you want to become. Okay? So, and even with that, the scriptures also goes on about, being patient, okay? Scriptures also go on about having faith, trusting the Lord, getting your spirit right, for the Lord, Because a lot of times, Jake, they pray and they do all these different things, all right, not fasting, but they do these things and their spirit aren't right, man. Their spirit is filthy, man. Okay? It's not, um, you got certain things within yourself, all right, that you got to get out of you for the Lord to end up, ultimately getting you out of the situation you're in, because you will miss it, all right? And that's why you have to pray until the Lord to find it. What is it that I am missing, that I'm still holding on to, or, that's still upon me, that's hindering me, that's stopping me, or whatever it is, remove it. That's a great prayer, okay? It's to remove the thing that's hindering me to learn the lesson that the Lord is providing for you. All right? So these scriptures, it will tell you everything and every move, and the next move you should do and the things you should do in order for you to continue out in life. It's like you're prospering in the spirit. All right? Prospering in the spirit. Okay, and that's what's going to put you in perfect peace. Is when your spirit is in peace, you're in perfect peace. No matter what affliction or what hell you catching physically, you will always be in that perfect peace. Okay? Because though you're being afflicted, once your mind is stayed upon the Lord, you understand that, okay, I'm going to be all right, man. All right? At the end of the day, I'm going to be straight. The Lord has me. All right? And you become at peace with the affliction because you know that there's always going to be an end to it. Everything is temporary, even the affliction. But through that affliction, you grow and you learn and you become better, And that's what makes you, a better man for the Lord. See, the Lord is raising up prophets, all right? Men, warriors, soldiers, all right? That's what the Lord's raising up. So in order to be that, you gotta go through certain things. You gotta go, like, you gotta have certain battle scars. You gotta, take upon these different things, bro. All right? It says, real quick. Is this it? Nah, Shalakia. This is, let me get this one then. I think it says Temptations, actually. Yeah. This one looks like a good one too, though. And like I said, here we go. I'm gonna start at verse 5. It says, 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 5 in NLT, and through your faith, Yahweh is protecting you by his power until you receive this salvation, which is ready to be revealed on the last day for all to see. All right, so through the faith, the Lord is protecting us. That's why, we are afflicted but not destroyed. We are chastised and going through much sorrow, but, the Lord never judges us, and put us, through death. The Lord never take us out in a horrible way as, the wicked are. It says, so be truly glad. There is wonderful joy ahead, even though you must endure many trials for a little while. All right. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. So, you got to understand there's wonderful joy ahead. What the Lord is going to bring us to is nothing. This affliction is nothing. You can go through it many times over. If you really understood what the Lord has prepared. Okay, and that's what brings the hope. That's what brings the patience, knowing that there's going to be better. So you're patient enough to wait. It says these trials will show you faith, show your faith that is, show that your faith is genuine. You know, that's what the trials are for, the affliction is for, is to show your faith is genuine, to show that you truly love the Lord, you truly following out the Lord Yahweh Bashmi Yahushai. It says it is being tested by fire test and Salaki, it is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold. Though your faith is far more precious than mere gold. So when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will bring you much praise and glory and honor on the day when Yahushua Mashiach is revealed to the whole world. You know, so these trials, and it's all to test your faith, all right, and to purify, your faith, as fire test and purify gold. Fire, it burns, but as it's burning the gold, it's purifying it. Okay, it's purifying that gold, man. And that's what's happening to us. We're being purified from all our weaknesses in this fleshly body. You're going through that long, that long suffering. Okay, but compared to what is going to come at the end of it, that's not long at all. So you gotta, this is what I mean, where the scriptures is a blueprint, man. It's a blueprint to salvation. Okay, it shows you how to react, how to be, what to do. All right, so you can be able to be a great prophet of the Lord.